Hey guys, welcome to another video from Historic Militaria. Today we're going to be looking at one of the late production Mauser Bolos that was kind of just before they moved on to a lot of changes around serial number 700,000. This is in the high 680,000 serial number range, and it's sort of the last of the what you would term the post-war, pre-1930 commercials. So these are guns that were made in the 1920s. This one probably comes from about 1927 to 1928. And it's got a lot of the features that you would associate with a Bolo from this time period. Most of these went to China and a few other countries where they got really used up. They got refinished. They had all the parts stripped off them. And when you do see them today, they're pretty beat up and pretty shot out. Most are smooth bores. This one is not. This one actually was apparently to be sold at a gun store in Switzerland in the 1920s, and the gun store went out of business or otherwise did not sell this off, and it was forgotten about for about 75 years and then rediscovered. And this is what you're seeing today. It's essentially a new condition, late post-war commercial broom handle. This is one that would have been typical of, like I said, what would have gone to China or for a commercial sale in Europe, but not many of those were for commercial sale. This one, as you can see, is in the 684,000 serial number range. You've got your typical Bolo short barrel. You've got your very nice commercial type bluing with your fire blued trigger. Your Mauser banner is going to be standard on all these guns, starting at about 500 and something thousand. Mauser decided to just make it a little more decorative and put that there. And you've got just really nice polish and panel milling on these. Again, the bluing is very deep. The grips are going to be your typical commercial fit and finish. The wood is nicely varnished. This one is actually not marked Germany or made in Germany or anything, which leads me to believe that it really probably was for sale in Germany and somehow ended up in Switzerland. You just got your nice grips with your typical lanyard ring that they all have. Again, nice fire blue on these. This one is actually fitted with a standard 1 to 1,000 sight, or 100 to 1,000. Actually, my mistake, 50 to 1,000 for 1,000 meters, which again is very optimistic for these guns. You've got your typical nice fire blue. This one still has traces of the original packing grease on it, and especially inside it is full of grease that was never cleaned out. You've got your standard commercial Mauser markings on the chamber. And this one is cut for a shoulder stock, which most Bolos were. It does have the associated shoulder stock, and we'll look at shoulder stocks at another time, but it's just a standard wood holster. This one has got your matching serial numbers with your NS hammer. And we're getting toward the end of the NS hammers. For the 1930 commercial, one of the things that makes a true 1930 commercial is a different kind of safety, different kind of hammer. We'll take a look at those once we get into 1930 commercial guns, if we can get our hands on a couple nice examples, which I am hopeful we can. So what you have is still Mauser cranking out guns that are pretty much your wartime commercial type, only with much nicer bluing, with the Mauser banner on the side here, just to show a little more commercial rather than military use, and just better fit, finish, all those good things. Right about serial number 700,000, Mauser stopped using this kind of blue, which is actually a rust blue, and they moved on to a salt blue, and that salt blue gives you a very black finish, and we've done another video on those, the black broom handles. And it'll give you a very deep, dark, black, very shiny finish that's actually very, very, very appealing and very pretty. Not that these aren't, but the others are certainly very interesting to look at. And then they stuck with that black finish till the end of production. One thing they also kept doing, even when they went to the black finish, is the small parts, at least initially, were still fire blued. So you'd still have a black finish, but you'd have a fire blue on your cursor, you'd have fire blue on your extractor, and you'd have fire blue on your trigger and bolt stop and safety. Eventually, they just salt blued everything, and even the small parts were black. And that is sort of the quintessential 1930 commercial gun. But Mauser was doing some transitioning at this time, and this is sort of the last of the non-transitional, what you would just term post-war commercial 1920s bolos. They were getting ready to start making large-size guns again, as well as bolos. And this is what would be indicative of what was going around the world, to be fighting in a number of revolutions and wars and insurrections and everything else. But this is just one that got forgotten about, and history kind of passed it by, and now we get to look at it in basically factory new condition. So hope you've enjoyed taking a look at what these look like when they rolled off the assembly line. And like, subscribe. If you have any questions, please do ask them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer if I can. And once again, thanks for watching.